What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Design to Ride with Surfride Board Shops. I'm your host, Tanner Waite, and today we've got none other than the Channel Islands Better Everyday Shortboard. Channel Islands Surfboards is world-renowned as one of the most influential, if not the most influential, surfboard manufacturer through the lens of high-performance surfing. They've got more world titles than any other brand, and they're always at the forefront of high-performance surfboard development, whether that be in small and gutless surf, up into surfing waves like pipeline, and everything in between. The Better Everyday is a spin-off, slightly chunkier version of the Happy Everyday, which is a spin-off of the CI Happy. Now, if you were to stack these all up against each other, the Happy is a model that is meant to be a full high-performance surfboard for when the waves are really good and have good shape. The Happy Everyday is going to be best suited for something that is a little bit more chunky, a little bit more user-friendly, and then the Better Everyday is even a little bit more chunky and a little bit more user-friendly than that. The one thing that I want to note with the Better Everyday is that it does have a slightly soft and pronounced hip in the back. It is meant to be ridden a little bit shorter and maybe more towards that more punchy, vertical style surfing. I personally really like the Happy shortboard. I rode it a handful of years ago when it first came out, and it was good, it was reliable. It allowed me to do pretty much anything that I wanted to on the waves. But something like this for everyday California surf, if you want to have a better day every day, this is a great model for that. It's got a slightly wider nose, and again, that soft pronounced hip that is going to give you easier entry into the waves and allow you to pivot a lot easier. One thing that I will say is that if the waves get a little bit bigger in that waist to head high range, the Better Everyday is going to lag slightly behind the Happy Everyday or the Happy because of the hip. What happens with that is when you're trying to do a longer, more drawn out turn, the hip will limit your ability to do that at higher speeds. But if you're looking for something that you can surf all the time in 90 to 95% of the conditions that we have here in Southern California, this is what I would pick up. It is a slightly chunkier version of something like the Subdriver 3.0, which we talked about in this video here. It's also got a fairly flat, consistent rocker profile, and the option for a wide array of fin setups with 5 boxes. When it comes to fin setups for this board, I personally am most familiar with thrusters and twin fins. Lately, a lot more twin fins than anything else, but I would personally go with a regular medium-size set of fins from either Futures or FCS. Would be something geared more towards the pivot, which is a bit more upright. And while they might not have as much drive as something from the Rake series, it's going to give you that light, skatey feel, allowing you a little bit more fin release and slightly more control, and the waves are a bit more punchy and hollow. If the waves are really small, you could also opt for running a twin or a twin plus one setup in this board. I actually got to ride this at probably the most gutless oceanside harbor that you could ever surf, and it did fairly well. I was working really hard to catch the waves. I was working really hard on the waves, and that is not to this board's fault. It is because it was a 5.5 foot high tide and 1 foot and extremely crowded, which made it really hard to get a really good feel on this. The Better Everyday that I rode was their carbon fiber infused ECT construction. And just like the rest of any Channel Islands boards, you can order them custom however you want, whatever color you want, whatever construction you want. I would recommend getting it in that ECT construction because it is epoxy and light while still maintaining a lot of the durability that you would get out of a carbon fiber board without compromising some of the flex that you might lose otherwise with something like a vacuum bag dark arts board. All in all, this was a really sick board. I definitely don't plan on giving that demo back anytime soon because I want to keep surfing it. The ideal surfer looking to ride this could be in that intermediate to advanced and on range, and is meant to be surfed in that knee to shoulder high, punchy, fun wave range. But because it does have a little bit of that thicker, more evenly distributed volume, you can certainly ride it in a little bit smaller, more gutless waves, and it is a little bit more user-friendly because of that. We've got plenty of these in stock at either our Oceanside or Solana Beach locations, so be sure to come in, put one under your arm, check it out, let us know what you think. Don't forget to comment what boards you want us to review next. Hit that subscribe button. We've got videos like this coming every single week, along with collaborations with the shapers and the surfers themselves. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next one.